Hi everyone, welcome to our capsule videos once again. In the previous classes, two capsule videos have been recorded and have been produced to you. And in those two classes, we have discussed about the resolutions to be passed in board meeting itself and unanimous resolution. What are the resolutions to be passed by postal ballot, special notice, no vote cast against the resolution. And coming to our today's topic, the capsule 3 revision video, we are going to discuss about exemptions to government companies. While reading the act, you may come across these points like this section is not applicable to government company, this section is not applicable to government company. Like in the entire Companies Act, there are about 31 times this thing is repeated, like exemption given or modification given or conditions given for application of the particular section to the government companies, right? 31 times. To our syllabus, only 25 places it is applicable to us. We are going to discuss those things right now in our video. And coming to the, before going to that exemption list, first of all we will discuss what is government company, right? We have to discuss what is government company. Definition of government company has given, you all know, section 2 subsection 45. Any company in which not less than 51% means not less than 51% means 51% for 51% or more, or the paid up share capital held by either CG or SG or a combination of CG or SG or by two or more SGs, and includes a subsidiary of such government company means and includes a subsidiary of such government company. We have to be careful in this regard. For example, we will take an example here whether the such company is a government company or not. We will decide. For example, you take a company A is there. In that, Andhra Pradesh Andhra Pradesh government is having 40% of voting share, that is paid up capital it has, and also another government company holds 22%. Then in that case, whether the A Limited is a government company or not, we have to decide. It has been clearly said in the definition only by the government or central government or by combination of central government or state governments. There is nowhere mentioned in the definition like if any government company holds, it will be counted in that 51% limit. Then in this case, this A Limited is not a government company. This question has been asked in the exam and many of people has confused and have written that company is a government company. Then please keep this in mind. And coming to our main topic right now, to the exemptions given, we'll go one by one. We'll have chapter 8, chapter 9, chapter 10, chapter 11, chapter 12, chapter 13, like dividend, accounts, audit, appointment and qualification of directors, board meetings, managerial remuneration. In the particular section, there are many exemptions given to government companies. We'll discuss one by one. Coming to our first chapter 8, that is dividend. In section 123 subsection 1 proviso, we all know that if there are inadequacy of profits or absence of profits, the dividend can be paid by following the rule 3 conditions. Like some conditions will be there, 4 conditions will be there, 15%, 110% of the previous paid up capital free reserve shall be withdrawn, not fall shall less than 15%, 3 years average you have to take. First you have to utilize to the losses and depreciation in the current year. Such conditions will be there. If you follow those 4 conditions only, then we can declare dividend if you have absence of profits or inadequacy of profits. But there is an exemption given to government company, not government company but wholly owned government company, meaning in such government company the entire paid up share capital is owned by the government, that is SG or CG or combination of SG or CG, right? In that you have to consider. And in this video, all the government companies, there is one tail will be there, like section 137 and 192, that financial statements and AR in no default has been committed. For every section you add that tail, no default, unless no default has been committed under section 137 and 132, then this has been given exemption to the particular section, right? Coming to this 123 1, rule 3, that 4 conditions has to satisfy, then we can declare dividend. But such condition is not applicable to government company. Again, there are two different views in this case. What are two different cases? Many of the authors thought that this rule 3 is not applicable to government company, means a government company, if it incurs losses in the period or absence of profits for to declare dividend, then in such case such government company need not follow the 4 conditions. They can declare dividend without following the rule 3 conditions. But what ICAVU has taken, if there are absence of profits or in any case absence of profits or loss in the current year, no dividend can be declared, means no dividend can be declared. We will go with ICAVU, right? Coming to our next second point. First point is finished. Second point, 123 subsection 4. What is 123 subsection 4? 123 dividend declaration. After dividend declaration, it has to be deposited with a separate bank account, separate scheduled bank account within 5 days, right? Within 5 days, it has to be deposited in separate bank account. Then this particular section is not applicable to apply to a government company in which entire paid up share capital is held by the central government, state government, or more government companies. There is a difference in this particular section only. It is clearly mentioned that one or more government companies. Only in this 123(4) section it is mentioned that if a company paid up share capital is held by central government, state government, or by government company, then such company need not deposit that dividend amount in separate bank account within 5 days. You have to remember this government company. Only in this section has been given by government company, right? Coming to our next section, 129. What is 129? 128 books of accounts, 129 financial statements. Financial statements we have to prepare according to schedule 3, right? If it is in case of a government company, that schedule 3 need not be completed only with respect to the particular segment. For example, that such government company needs to report segment reporting according to A17, then in such case schedule 3 need not be followed, right? We will read section segment reporting terms of A18 in financial statement schedule 3 shall not apply to the extent of application accounting standard 17 segment reporting to companies engaged in the defense production. Means such government companies shall engage in defense production, then only this exemption is available. Totally we have discussed 3 exemptions: 123(1), 123(4), 129. 123(1) is relating to the rule 3 conditions. The government company, entire government company, you have to remember entire paid up capital. In here also entire paid up capital. And here only government company, defense production, segment reporting, 109 financial statement schedule 3, right? Coming to our next fourth point, chapter 9, that is accounts relating to account. That is not very important. This is just regarding the board report. 134 subsection 3 class C, 134 subsection 3 class P. We'll just read it. Board report to include company's policies on director appointment, remuneration, positive attributes, independence of directors, etc. on matters specified in 178 subsection 3. Shall not apply to government company. In board report there are various matters to be reported, like relating to director responsible statements will be there, what policies they have followed, how they have dealt with issues. In board report so many things needs to be reported. In that one point is director's appointment, director remuneration, his positive attributes, his independence of directors has to be mentioned in the board report. But that point is not applicable to a government company. Here you see how you can see only government company, not entirely paid up capital is not there, only government company. Coming to our next section, 134 3 subsection. This is the same, you can just read it and ignore it. This is not very important for the exam point of view. Board report to include statement giving matters to the annual evaluation by the board of its performance and that of its committees and individual directors. Board report should include the statement because every director, his performance has to be evaluated, and such performance evaluation report should be attached in the board report. But such attachment shall not be required, or some exemption is given to the government company. We will read. Shall not apply to government companies in case the directors are evaluated by the ministry or department of the central government or by the state government as per its own evaluation method. Means that evaluation is done by the ministry or department, then such point is not required here. Again, coming to our chapter 11, that is very important. From now the topic is very important. 149 subsection 1. If you remember 149 subsection 1, what is 149 subsection 1? Minimum directors, maximum directors. Yes, minimum directors in case of private company, 2 minimum directors in case of public company, 3 minimum directors, maximum directors, 15 directors. If you appoint more than 15 directors, we need to pass yes or yes, that section itself. In that section, there is an exemption given to government company. Means If you want to increase the maximum limit more than 15 number of directors, it need not pass that is special resolution. You can remember like 149(1). There are two companies. Even Section 8 company is exempted and government company is exempted. For regarding Section 8 company, we will make a separate video. As of now, we are making video of government company. 149. What is 149(1)? Minimum director of the maximum director 15. If you want to increase the limit of maximum to more than 15, you need to pass special resolution. But that point is not applicable to government company. Then special resolution is not required in that particular case, right? Next, coming to our 7th point, 149(6) subsection A. What is 149(6) subsection A? That is relating to independence qualifications, right? Eligibility. Independent director, a person who is opinion of the board. Here, independent director means in the opinion of the board, he should have integrity, experience, expertise. But whereas it is a case of a company, the opinion of the board shall not be considered. The opinion of the ministry or department or central government or administrative in charge of the company or by state government shall be considered. Only just replace the board with that ministry, department or central government. That's it. That is no major change in that particular section. 149(6) subsection C. 149 subsection, it is regarding to eligibility, like pecuniary relationship. For example, if a independent director have any pecuniary relationship with the CHAS companies. CHAS companies means a company, its holding company, its associate company, its subsidiary company. In these 4 companies, if the independent director has any pecuniary relationship other than the remuneration issued through in the form of a director, then such independent director is not eligible to be appointed as independent director. In that particular section, it has been said like it should not exceed 10%. Any pecuniary relationship shall not exceed 10% in the past 2 years or during the current year. For that particular point, government company is not applicable. Meaning, if any director has pecuniary relationship more than 10%, he can be appointed as independent director in the particular government company. Right. Coming to our 9th point, 152 subsection 5. What is 152 subsection 5? Okay, appointment. 152 is relating to appointment, rotation, वगैरह. 152 subsection 5 is relating to the if a director is appointed, he has to give consent to the company. That company shall file with the ROC, right? In that particular case, if it is a government company, if a director has been appointed, such consent shall not be required in case of government company. The same has been mentioned in the exemption list. Shall not apply to a government company where the appointment is done by the central government or state government. Only if the appointment is done by the central government or state government, then such director need not give consent to the company, and the company in return will file his director's consent with the ROC. That point is not applicable in this case if the director is appointed by central government or state government, right? And coming to our 10th topic, chapter 11, 152 subsection 6, 152 subsection 6 and subsection 7. What is that? Rotation. 2/3, 1/3 independent director shall be excluded from the total number of directors. 2/3 directors shall be retired by the rotation every AGM. Like that, if the articles is not provided otherwise. Like that particular section. What is that particular section? It is not applicable to, shall not apply to a government company in which it is not a listed company, in which not less than 50% of the capital is held by the central government. Same, the definition of government company is given, but one particular important point is we have to consider is it is not a listed company. It is not a listed company. Rotation 152 6 7. It is not a listed company. The government company shall not be a listed company. Then this particular section is not applicable to it, right? And one more important point is second 2 point is a subsidiary of the above company. Anyway, it is given in the government company definition itself, but here I have again they have given. One important point is you have to consider this listed. It is not listed, right? If retirement by rotation is not applicable, then filing of retiring director is also not applicable. That is common sense. Coming to our 11th point, 160, section 160. What is 160? Regular director. Yeah, regular director. If any person has been retired through rotation, other than that person, if you want to appoint as a director in the particular company, he has to follow the section 160. What is 160? Some notice to be given to the company, some deposit has to be made. Sometimes procedure will be there. That procedure, right of a person other than the returning directors to stand of directorship. It is regular director. We can say generally the common name. Shall not apply to a wholly owned. You have to wholly owned government company and a wholly owned subsidiary of above. This is important. We will confuse. Wholly owned means that such government company entire paid up share capital shall be held by the central government, state government, or a combination of the two. and a wholly owned subsidiary of the above company, means a wholly owned subsidiary of the government company, right? Next, this particular 160 is not applicable. That then meaning that procedure need not be followed by that particular section if they want to appoint directors. Coming to section number 12, point number 12, sorry, section 162. 162, what is 162? Yes, if two, we have already discussed in our previous capsule videos, like no single resolution shall be passed, no vote cast against the resolution. In that particular 162 is there. What is 162 deal with? If two directors are more, directors are appointed at the resolution, then such resolution shall not be appointed by a single resolution. Before, if we want to appoint two or more directors with a single resolution, before passing such resolution, we have to pass an resolution for that in that AGM. In that resolution, no vote cast against such resolution has been discussed in the previous video. You can watch in our previous video. In that case, particular 162, appointment of directors to be voted individually shall not apply to a wholly owned government company and subsidiary. You can remember 160 and 162 same. Even 163 is same. That is that wholly owned government company, wholly owned subsidiary, wholly owned government company, wholly owned subsidiary. Coming to the 13th topic, what is 163? Option to adopt the principle of proportional representation. What is principle of proportional representation? Yeah, it is option to the company. It is given option to the company if they want to appoint proportional representation directors. 2/3 of the directors shall be appointed as a proportional representation. Right. This section 163 is a very important, very unique section. Sorry, very unique section. Like, if this section 163 overrides the entire Act of Companies Act, you have to keep in this entire Act. If this section comes into picture, nothing will apply in this particular case. Right? This is a unique section. You have to remember in that particular section that the proportional representation is not applicable to government company, wholly owned government company, wholly owned subsidiary company. Right? In this 160 proportional representation, single vote, transferable vote, cumulative voting, such points will be there. You just go to that particular section. We will definitely understand. And coming to our next 14th 164 to 164 disqualifications of directors. 164 to that point, annual return financial statements in the past 3 consecutive years not filed, the dividends, deposits, debentures matured, interest not paid in the past years. In that case, the director is disqualified, but his place in that particular company is not vacant as per section 167 subsection 1 class A. Proviso is there. That is a funny proviso. Just go through it, you will definitely understand. In the particular section 164(2) shall not apply to government company. That particular section is not applicable to government company. Next, coming to section 170. What is 170? That register, maintenance of register of directors or KMP and the shareholding. That shareholding register is not applicable to a wholly owned company. But remember, wholly owned company, right? And coming to section, sorry, we have skipped 171. 171. What is 171? The members right to inspect the register which has maintained section 170. This sum also shall not be applicable to the wholly owned government company. These two are same. You can remember 170 is same. Wholly owned government company, wholly owned government company. Next, coming to section next 177(4). What is 177(4)? This is just a normal section. 177 is like functions of audit committee. Functions of audit committee. What audit committee will do? It will appoint appointment. It will make recommendations regarding the appointment, termination, terms of appointment of auditors of the company. Right. In that particular case, if it is a government company, these votes shall be replaced with the recommend for remuneration. Recommend for remuneration. You'll know that only remuneration will be required by the audit committee. Rest appointment and terms will be decided by the CAG. As we all know, the government company, the appointment will be made by the C&H. Coming to the section 18.178(2) and 178(2), 3, 4. What is 178? Again, we have 178. What is 178? Nomination Remuneration Committee. What is the here? They have discussed the functions of Nomination Remuneration Committee. In that also they have replaced some words. That is not at all. That is not very important to the exam point of view, but we will discuss. Total terms of the refresh Nomination Remuneration Committee to identify persons as appointed as a director, senior management, positive attributes, independence of directors shall not apply to a government company except with regard to the appointment of senior management and employees. Okay, you have given except, means this 2, 3, 4 is not applicable to government company only, but it applies only to the extent of appointment of senior management and other employees. Meaning that NRC, that Nomination Remuneration Committee, can appoint a senior management and employees in the government company, right? And coming to our next 19 point, section 185. Oh, twin sisters has come into the picture here. 185, 185 loan to directors, 186 loans, investments, guarantees, securities. 185 loan to directors, etc. Loan to directors, etc. That prohibitions will be there, some restrictions will be there. We have to read into that particular section. In that particular section, shall not apply to the government company in case such company obtains approval of ministry, department, central government, administrative in charge of the company, as a case may be state government, before making loan. Before making that loan, this company shall apply to that and they get approval. Then the procedure said in the 185 that board meeting resolutions in general meeting resolution need not be required. Same thing we will see in the twin section 186. Loans, investment, guaranteed securities by the company. In that also same thing is there, shall not apply to government company engaged in defense production, but there is an exception, that there is a different point here. 185 different point here. Defense production. If the defense production engaged defense production, 186 it shall not follow 186. Like board meeting shall not be passed. That 186 special resolution is there that shall not be required if it is a government company engaged in defense production for loans, investment, guaranteed securities, and also a government company other than the listed company. Here we have also given other than listed company. Here we have come across in two places other than listed company, right? Just remember those other than listed companies, very important those points. They might be testing in the examination. In case such company is obtain approval of the ministry, same like here, if they obtain before making the loans, investment, guarantees, securities, if they obtain approval of the central government or the administrative in charge of the company, then 186 procedure is not applicable to that particular government company, defense production government company. Coming to our section, next topic 21, chapter 12, first and second procedure to 188. What is 188? Related party transaction. The related party transaction is there at goods, services, leasing of property, OPP, office of place of profits, underwriting commission. Those 5 to 6 points will be there. Certain limits will be there. Certain limits exceeds special resolution needs to be passed. So some points will be there. In the some particulars, such provision is not applicable to government company. Will say government company in respect of a contract or arrangement entered into by it with any other government company. If any government company has entered into contract with the other government company which is related to that government company, then the procedure mentioned in section 188 need not be followed. A government company other than listed company in respect of the contracts or agreements other than those specified in class A, unless the company obtains approval. Same in the 185 and 6. If it takes approval from the government administratively in charge, the central government, state government, then the procedure required in the 188 need not be followed. And coming to our last slide, 22, 186. What is 196? Sorry, 196. What is 196? 196 is the appointment of the managerial remuneration, MD, whole-time director, manager. In 186, 2, 3, 4, it has been mentioned like no company shall appoint MD, whole-time director for maximum period of shall not exceed the period of 5 years. Means the tenure is 5 years. After 5 years, they can reappoint. Like certain points will be there. That reappointment shall be made only after the 4th year. Means in the gap shall be 1 year, 4th year and 1 year, right? That particular section is not applicable to the government company. You can keep it. Then meaning is like a government company can appoint a director MD for more than 5 years. It is very simple like interpretation. And coming to our 23, 197. 197 is relating to the managerial remuneration that limits 11%, 1%, 3%, 5%, 10%. Schedule 5. Special resolution is required. Approval of government, whatever. So many provisions are there mentioned in that particular section. Schedule 5, 5 parts will be there. 5 parts in that particular subsection. Sub parts will be there. Those entire thing is not applicable to the government company. Very good thing. And coming to our last point of discussion in the government company, 24. Chapter 13. 203. If you remember 203, what is 203? Appointment of KMP, MD, CEO, manager in the reference hold and director at CES, CFO. Right? These points appointment, if it is appointment of these companies, it is not applicable to government company. Or some modification is given. We will read the modification. After subsection 4 means after section 1 to this section, the following subsection is to be inserted. Like the provisions of section 1, 2, 3, 4 of this section shall not apply to the MD, chief executive officer or manager in the hold and director in the government company. Right? In that case, that section 2 appointment of that rules is not applicable to the government company. Right? And coming to in one more thing, there is one more place they mention government company, central government company, that is audit. In audit there is no specifically exemption given, but they have given specific sections for that government company. For example, if it's a government company, appointment shall be made like this. If it is a non-government company, appointment shall be made like this. That's why they have not given any exemption in particular the audit chapter. And coming to one more place, we can see 230 and 232. In section 230 and 232, you can come across that is related to compromise, arrangement, and mergers, amalgamation. In that particular section, if any person has to make an application, it shall be made to the tribunal. If it is a government company, such application to the compromise, arrangement, or merger shall be made to the central government. In that particular section, the only word tribunal has been replaced with the central government if it is a government company. Yes. Thanks for listening. I have we have made the video very fast because there are a lot of points. The video length will be long, so that we have made a video very fast, right? And our next video will be relating to the private company exemptions. If you like this video, please like, share, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much.